The most dangerous prison is not the one that hurts you. It is the one that keeps you comfortable. Because pain makes you move. Fear makes you alert. Failure forces you to question yourself. But comfort does something far more dangerous. It whispers, "Stay here. You are safe." And slowly, without noise, without drama, without any obvious warning sign, it begins to steal the person you were supposed to become. You do not notice it at first. You just skip one workout. You delay one decision. You avoid one difficult conversation. You spend one more night scrolling, telling yourself you will start tomorrow. And the terrifying part is, nothing bad happens immediately. Your life does not collapse. Nobody warns you. Nobody points at you and says, "You are losing yourself." Comfort destroys quietly. It does not attack your life in one dramatic moment. It weakens your standards one small excuse at a time. And one day, you look in the mirror and realize something painful. You are not tired because life is too hard. You are tired because you have been avoiding the hard things that would have made you stronger. Most people think comfort is peace. But comfort and peace are not the same thing. Peace is what you feel after you have faced what you needed to face. Comfort is what you feel when you avoid it. Peace builds self-respect. Comfort borrows pleasure from tomorrow and spends it today. That is why comfort feels good in the moment, but leaves you with a strange emptiness afterward. You relaxed, but you did not recover. You rested, but you did not feel stronger. You escaped, but the problem was still waiting for you. This is where many people get trapped. They think they are taking care of themselves, but really, they are protecting their weakest patterns. They say, "I deserve to feel good." And maybe they do. But the question is not whether you deserve comfort. The question is, what kind of comfort are you choosing? There is healthy comfort. The kind that helps you heal. Sleep after honest effort. Rest after discipline. Silence after a hard day. Time with people who make your nervous system feel safe. That kind of comfort restores you. But there is another kind. The kind that weakens you. The comfort of avoiding responsibility. The comfort of staying invisible. The comfort of not trying, so you never have to know whether you could fail. The comfort of blaming your past, your family, your luck, your anxiety, your situation, your lack of time. And sometimes, the biggest comfort of all is the identity that says, "This is just who I am." That sentence can become a cage. Because once you believe your current weakness is your permanent identity, you stop fighting for your future. You stop asking, "What can I become?" And you start defending what is already destroying you. The mind is clever. It does not always sabotage you with fear. Sometimes it sabotages you with logic. It gives you reasonable excuses. You had a long day. You can start next week. You are not ready yet. You need more information first. Other people have it easier. You are just being realistic. And each excuse feels small. But small excuses repeated over time become a personality. That is why two people can start in the same place, with the same dream, the same fear, the same uncertainty. And 5 years later, one has transformed, while the other is still explaining why the timing was never right. The difference is not talent. It is tolerance. One person learned to tolerate discomfort. The other built a life around avoiding it. This is the hidden psychological reason comfort is so powerful. Your brain is designed to save energy and avoid danger. Anything difficult feels like a threat at first. A hard workout feels like pain. A serious conversation feels like rejection. Starting a business feels like risk. Learning a skill feels like embarrassment. Changing your life feels like losing the familiar version of yourself. So your brain pulls you back toward what it knows. Even if what it knows is making you miserable. This is why people stay in bad routines. Not because they love them. But because the routine is familiar. And the familiar feels safe. Even when it is unhealthy. Even when it is slowly ruining their confidence. Even when it is shrinking their future. A person can hate their life and still protect the habits that created it. That is how deep comfort can go. Look at how it appears in daily life. You know you should wake up earlier, but the bed feels safe. You know you should speak up, but silence feels easier. You know you should stop chasing people who do not value you, but loneliness feels frightening. You know you should start learning, building, training, creating, saving, apologizing, leaving, changing. But the old life keeps offering you one more easy night. And every time you choose the easy night over the difficult future, you teach your mind something. You teach it that discomfort is dangerous. You teach it that discipline is punishment. You teach it that desire matters more than direction. And over time, you begin to lose trust in yourself. That is one of the most painful effects of comfort. It does not only steal your progress. It steals your self-respect. Because deep down, you know when you are lying to yourself. You know when you said you would do something and did not do it. You know when you promised yourself change but returned to the same pattern. You know when you laughed it off in public, but felt disappointed in private. And when this happens too many times, something inside you becomes quiet. You stop dreaming boldly. You stop making promises to yourself. You stop believing your own words. That is not laziness. That is broken self-trust. And broken self-trust makes every goal feel heavier. A simple task feels impossible because your mind remembers all the times you abandoned yourself before. So the real battle is not just about waking up early, going to the gym, building confidence, or becoming productive. The real battle is rebuilding the relationship between you and you. Your future self is not created by your wishes. Your future self is created by what you repeatedly tolerate. If you tolerate excuses, you become someone who needs them. If you tolerate disrespect, you become someone who expects it. If you tolerate distraction, you become someone who cannot focus. If you tolerate emotional weakness, you become someone controlled by every feeling that passes through your mind. But if you tolerate discomfort, something changes. Not immediately. Not dramatically. But quietly. You begin to respect yourself again. You prove that you can do hard things. You learn that fear is not always a stop sign. You learn that boredom is not an emergency. You learn that temporary pain can protect you from long-term regret. This is the part most people misunderstand. Discipline is not about hating yourself into action. It is about loving your future enough to disappoint your present comfort. Sometimes you have to disappoint the version of yourself that wants everything easy. You have to disappoint the version that wants approval from everyone. You have to disappoint the version that would rather be distracted than honest. You have to disappoint the version that keeps choosing short-term relief over long-term respect. And that feels uncomfortable. But it is not cruelty. It is leadership. Self-leadership means you stop letting your weakest mood make your strongest decisions. Because your mood will change. Your cravings will change. Your motivation will disappear and return. But the consequences of your choices will remain. This is why you need a system stronger than your feelings. Start small. Not because small is impressive. But because small is believable. Do not begin by trying to destroy your whole life and rebuild it overnight. That usually becomes another fantasy. Begin with one uncomfortable promise you can keep today. 5 minutes of exercise. 10 minutes of reading. One honest message. One clean meal. 1 hour without your phone. One task completed before entertainment. One moment where you do not escape. The goal is not intensity. The goal is proof. You need proof that you are still capable of choosing yourself. And once you collect enough small proof, your identity begins to change. You stop saying, "I am trying to become disciplined." You begin to think, "I am someone who keeps promises to myself." That shift matters. Because identity is stronger than motivation. People do not rise to their dreams. They fall to the level of what they believe they are. If you believe you are weak, you will explain weakness. If you believe you are undisciplined, you will expect failure. If you believe you are the kind of person who always quits, then quitting will feel normal. But the reverse is also true. If you begin acting like someone who can handle discomfort, even in small ways, your mind starts looking for evidence. And every difficult action becomes a vote for a stronger identity. This is how your future self is built. Not in one emotional burst. Not in one perfect morning routine. Not in one dramatic transformation. But in the quiet moments when nobody is watching, and you choose growth over comfort. There is a deeper truth here. A meaningful life is not built by chasing comfort. It is built by choosing the right kind of difficulty. Every path has pain. Discipline is painful. Regret is painful. Growth is painful. Stagnation is painful. The question is not whether you will suffer. The question is whether your suffering will build you or bury you. Because the comfort you protect today may become the regret you carry tomorrow. And regret is heavier than discipline. Regret follows you into quiet rooms. It appears when you see someone else doing what you were afraid to start. It appears when time passes and you realize your excuses were not as strong as they felt. It appears when you understand that the life you wanted did not disappear. You traded it. One comfortable choice at a time. But there is good news. If comfort can quietly destroy your future self, then small acts of courage can quietly rebuild it. You do not need to become fearless. You do not need to become perfect. You do not need to become a machine. You only need to stop treating discomfort like an enemy. Discomfort is often the doorway. The awkward conversation is the doorway to confidence. The lonely season is the doorway to self-respect. The boring repetition is the doorway to mastery. The early morning is the doorway to discipline. The first imperfect attempt is the doorway to a new identity. The life you want is not hiding in comfort. It is waiting on the other side of what you keep avoiding. So tonight, ask yourself one honest question. Not, what do I want? Most people know what they want. Ask yourself, what comfort am I protecting that is quietly destroying me? Is it the comfort of delay? The comfort of distraction? The comfort of being liked? The comfort of low standards? The comfort of blaming someone else? The comfort of never trying seriously enough to be judged? Be honest. Because the moment you can name the comfort, you can begin to break its power. And you do not break it by hating yourself. You break it by choosing one brave action. One small act that tells your mind, I am not staying here. Maybe your life does not change tonight. Maybe no one notices. Maybe nothing dramatic happens. But something inside you will know. You chose your future over your comfort. And that is where self-respect begins. Your future self is not waiting for a perfect day. Your future self is waiting for you to stop choosing the cage just because it feels soft. If this helped you see yourself differently, subscribe for more deep psychology and self-improvement lessons.